right, good morning, everybody. Hey, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day so far. Today is Saturday morning, August the 30th. And I'm back down here on the Preston track, Terry Preston, that is. And we've been cutting right along here in this opening. There's an opening out through here. I'm gonna try to turn around slow. I don't want to make y'all drunk. But we've got a trash pile started over here because we have had a wadded up mess right in here. This little head of woods that we're cutting in is very narrow, so you don't have a long wide spot to go in there and fell a bunch of trees and lay them out and then get them out. Okay, in a conventional logging crew with chainsaws and like a cable skidder, when you start cutting trees, you know, you got a skidder on your hind end, so that skidder is going to keep your timber cleaned up unless you're a one-man show like I am. And there are several guys out there, and my hats are off to you guys. But if you've got a skidder man cutting off of a timber cutter, he's going to keep your timber cleaned up as you go. When you're a one-man show, either in a conventional crew or like I am with a mule logging outfit, we don't have nobody to keep our timber cleaned up. We are the skidder man. Normally I don't bring the mules to the woods when I'm cutting timber. Sometimes I do, and I just leave them up at the truck. But most of the time I try to cut timber one day, skid the next. Cut timber one day, skid the next. And then that gives the mules a day off in between skidding. And it kind of helps me keep everything running smooth. But I said all that to say this. Right up in here where all this timber is, now we've got some logs stacked right over here. And I've got some logs stacked right over here. And what the reason why is because y'all can see like this stump right here. There's a stump right over there. Y'all can't see it. But anyway, my point is these trees were right here on the edge of this opening, if that makes any sense. And I just fell them back out toward that trash pile. Matter of fact, I was able to get most of the top on the trash pile. So what I did, it don't make no sense to bring the mules when these trees are out here in the wide open. You know, they're out here in this little clearing in this field. And then right back over here, these trees that I fell, they fell back toward this opening, okay? So it don't make no sense to bring the mules down here to bunch the logs. And when I say bunch them, I mean, you know, like this right here. Just bringing them out here and kind of bunching them together. Because what we're gonna do is, there's a road right here that comes in, and there's a skid steer sitting back there. We're gonna bring Old Red down here, and we're gonna load these logs on Old Red and truck them up that hill. That makes the absolute most sense to do, instead of bringing the mules down here and skidding these logs all the way up that hill. You know, it's roughly, I don't know, roughly a quarter of a mile up there. Maybe not quite that far. Between an eighth and a quarter though, for sure. And it's uphill. It wears my mules out pretty quick. And it don't make good sense when we got a good road getting down right here. This is kind of like a mini deck area. Anytime that you can get your truck closer to your timber, you're better off. Now, we're going to get busy here in a minute, but I kind of want to give y'all some ideas behind why I'm doing what I'm doing today. And as I've always told you, every day is a different day. You know, some days you'll do this, some days you'll do that. But every day is a different day. right, y'all, let's get out of here with this load. This is where old Red kind of accelerates. This is his thing. This, you know, backwoods, rough terrain type stuff. He's good at it. Especially you put him a set of tire chains on him, shoot. About like having four-wheel drive. I'm gonna do this probably in 3 trips. I don't want to load him heavy because we got a lot of rocks we got to go across, and I don't want to scuff the tires up. You know, and then going in and out of this creek and all that good mess. I could load him all the way to the top, but I'm not going to. It don't take but a minute to get the logs off. Man, it's a pretty little old creek right through here. Good rock bottom, hard bottom creek. Down where I come from in Alabama, we didn't have no creeks like this. They were sandy on the bottom, and if you tried to drive through them very much, you about get stuck. Pretty good little old hill right in here. Now I could use the mules with the wagon and do this, and it would be good for the mules, but it would be bad for production. When you can get a truck in, you're better off in a logging operation. I try to use my equipment where it's the most valuable at. You know, this is what Red excels at. He's not a road truck, not a very good road truck. That's what we got Big Red for. Old Red is a good woods truck, backwood, you know, running 10 or 12 mile haul, stuff like that. That's where he accelerates. You know, using the skid steer where you don't want to do a lot of packing on the skid steer, but at the same time it's very good at lifting and loading and all that mess. So, you know, I try to use my equipment to my advantage, to where it's the most valuable. Now I've got to do a little bit of rearranging out here. These are going to be short poppers. And I need short poppers and then long poppers to load the truck, because my front rack has to have short logs and the back rack can have longer logs. So I'm going to have to do a little rearranging out here. Trying to get over enough to where I can dump these logs off right in front of this log pile. mean, that's the way I unload the wagon when I bring it up here. Difference is I'm able to haul about twice as many logs, 3 times as many if I wanted to. Like I said, there ain't no point in pushing no truck. It's doing good just like it is. So let's go back and get another load. A little bit more on it this time. I'm trying to clean them piles up. I had them kind of split up in thirds. more or less. So I'm kind of trying to split it into 3 loads and just, you know, clean them up a pile at a time, if that makes sense. But you see how much more efficient this is? You know, the mules ain't having to pull this big old hill. Red could come out of here pretty easy with a load. It's just a whole lot more efficient. Red don't even have to strain hard. He's geared low enough, he can just ease along. Now when I'm not having a video for y'all, I can do this right here, every bit of this, I can do it in 20 to 30 minutes. I can have all the logs moved from out of the bottom down there up here to the hill. That's 3 loads in 30 minutes. 10 minutes a load roughly. That ain't bad. Save myself a little room to get out. I think I'll just carry these over here. I'll have to track them a little with the skid steer, but I got to have room to get in and out. Now y'all, sometimes the logs just get hung up like they are here, just by the way loading them and having knots on them and stuff like that. So I have to get up here and kind of prise on them a little bit and get them free. And it takes a little bit of patience, and it also takes experience to do this, because this is very dangerous. The logs could roll off on top of you and whatnot. So you have to be very careful doing this type of thing. I've done it a lot. This is the way we used to unload, you know, at some of the other mills that we used to haul to. So I've done this quite a bit, but even still, you got to be careful. All right, now we've got a pile about as big as I can throw them over on. So I'm going to take Red and move him up a little bit, and then we'll finish getting this load off. All right, y'all, so we got this thing done for today. Our deck is starting to mount up a little bit. Over here on the far side, we've got long poplar logs. These are 12 and 14s. And yeah, that's long for me. I know some of y'all guys are cutting 16s and, you know, doubles and stuff like that. And hey, that's cool. I love you. Anyway, for me, those are long logs. Those are going to back rack on Big Red. I've only got 22 foot of bunk space on the truck. With that being said, we're going to put the long logs on the back, and then we've got a stack here of gray logs that are 10s. Poplars and red oak mix, a little bit of everything. But I've got them sorted according to size. We got 10s here, long logs here, and then we've got double ties right here. These are 18 footers, okay? And we'll haul them on the truck, you know, straight on. And we'll probably mix in some single ties, which is right here. We'll put some single ties on the bottom and then maybe finish off the load with double ties and just kind of see how it works out. I haven't done that yet on Big Red, so we'll just see kind of how it goes. But I got a feeling, you know, according to my measurements and calculations and gravitational pull of the planets and the Earth's rotational spin and all that good mess, I think it'll work. But anyway, look, thank y'all for hanging out today. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the lovely comments that y'all give me on all the videos and commenting between each other and keeping it real and keeping it clean. I appreciate that, y'all. I don't care for somebody to criticize what I do. A lot of times what I do is different than a machine operator. It has to be, just simply because of the way we do things with the mules. You know, with that being said though, we are moving to bigger logs, you know, such as doubles and these 18 footers and stuff like that. It just makes my life a little bit easier. I'm sure some of you that log will understand what I'm talking about. You don't have to do so much timber cutting, and you don't have to do so much hooking and unhooking. But with that being said, look, I appreciate y'all. Love you. Love each and every one of you. For real, I do. I mean that. I don't say that just willy-nilly, saying, you know, hey, you know, I love you. You know, people throw that word out there, and they don't really mean it. But I love you, and I love you enough to pray for you. I'm going to be praying for every one of you that are watching this video. If you're hearing my voice, I'm praying for you. I promise you that. And as always, I'm going to put my email up here on the screen. If any of you need me, holler at me. Be glad to talk to you. And y'all take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.